I'll have you rearrange this after. Tell you why in a moment. Okay, that is better. She is about 8 weeks old. August 13, I believe, was the day.
Yes.
And we're feeling the joy of grandparenthood. It's really exciting. May I remind you, son Ryan, and daughter Chris, that it was not long ago that these hands held that little baby. In a very, very similar service. And it's hard to believe that all that 30 years has gone by so quickly.
29.
Okay. The better part of 3 decades, right? Get that up a little higher. Most music stands, they keep sliding down on you.
We have that one over there, does that.
So this is really good. I'm not sure what is customarily done in a service like this. But we've decided that we're going to have the whole immediate family come up here. That be okay with you?
Sure.
I've got a video camera, and this is for posterity, this is for memorabilia. And so I'm going to introduce them again, and I'd ask you that you come real quickly as I call your name. And you need to probably come out. Well, you could all rise and exit into the aisles, and then I'll call you up. First of all, let's have father and mother and baby Nyla come here on my right side. You just stand.
I'll do what I
You
can.
can actually stand if you want. That's good. And then I'm going to have my wife, Maria, come stand here by my side, along with Tyler, the youngest. And, okay, just give me. And then I'm going to have Chris come and stand by brother, and Jackson Henley, all the way from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Oh, wow. All right.
And then I'm going to have Grandpa Bill,
You really are?
Chris's dad, and his wife, Ruby. Okay? Or successor. And Sofia, the Spanish form of this name, Sofia, means wisdom. How could you ever improve on a name, especially with a meaning that has the connotation of achieving or succeeding in life through wise choices? That's a good aim for a life, is it not? So, the big question is, how shall Nyla, Sofia, how shall you ever achieve this goal in your life? How? Okay. In the next few moments, I would like to give you some conversation that I've had with God about this. Okay? Because Jesus was dedicated in the temple, it's after God's order of things that we should so do. And just as we dedicated you 3 children, we want to dedicate Nyla today. I know that we promised our very best efforts to be good parents to you. We promise that to God. I also know that we failed in some areas as parents. We could have done better at times, I'm sure. But for the most part, I look back on it now. Wouldn't you agree that it was a pretty good run? A good run. And what counts most right now is our joy. How your lives have become in God, what they have become, and that your lives as new parents are embracing the fact that you both love God with all your hearts, that you work day after day lifting the level of the quality of life for other people. That's your life focus. That you're searching daily to find God's way and to make God's way your way. And you come desiring God's best for Nyla. And so they call this a child dedication. But truth be told, the real focus here is on the parents. The real focus. The influence of God in Nyla's life is primarily coming from you. And really, it's quite an arrangement. It is. In many respects, you are God to this child for the next several years. God trusts you with a work that he can't do by osmosis. You are the ones that will educate the voice of conscience, that will instill the virtues of character, that will become Nyla. Think about the stark reality of parenthood. And in the end, a lot of what you get is what you fashion early in life. Knowing what his life stood for, I cringe really at quoting him, but he truly understood the power of this principle when he said, "Give me your children for a generation, and I will change the world." Now, I wish that it was God's name after that quote, rather than Joseph Stalin's. But this is a God principle first, not that of a Marxist dictator. If this were the resolve of every Christian parent, imagine embarking on the journey, the life journey of imprinting heaven's values in the heart of the next generation. Think about that. Jesus will be coming sooner. And every time a child is born, there are two possibilities. Two possibilities. There's another candidate for the citizenships of heaven. That's God and you partnering for the saving of this child for eternity. The estimated population of Earth, had no one ever died, is about 120 billion, they think. I think at least a quarter of those would get to heaven, and I want to see Nyla there along with you. I want God to save me and my family so I can dwell with him in the New Jerusalem with the saved of all ages. To miss that is to miss everything, isn't it? So, when the character of Christ is reproduced in his people, Jesus will come and get us. That's what we're told. This paraphrase of Ellen White's quote, I think, is the heartthrob, the real reason why we're standing here today, isn't it? The only passport to heaven being the character possessed when Jesus comes. The focal point of parenting. The other possibility is another candidate for the citizenship of the damned. Satan is lurking in the shadows, saying, just give me time, and this one will be mine too. And so the parent has this contrast, has this battleground to work in, Too few parents, I think of the consequences of what it is to bear a child into the world. No birth, no chance for heaven. But every child born is born into the middle of a battlefield. You're born into the middle of the battlefield. And if there was ever a time in history when it is difficult to bring a child into the world, it's now a time of fiercest battle. Do you want to come this side? Be near Nyla? Come over here. Okay. Is that better? This is a time which is going to call for steel resolve on the part of the parents to faithfully guard the avenues of the soul and to train the will and the character of the offspring to love God more than anything else. I've always marveled at the poignant clarity of Ellen White when she wrote this. The well-being of society, the success of the church, the prosperity of the nation depends upon home influences. Home influences. Can Christian parents help change the world? Absolutely, they can. Train up a child in the way he should go. When he's old, he will not depart from it. We quote that over and over, don't we, when we think of these times. When he is old, well, thanks for that encouragement, God, but who wants to see their child leave the fold in their youth or their young adulthood only to come back in their old age? God forbid. A child, a young adult, gone out swimming, having fun in the cesspools of the world, while the parents are home crying their eyes out, hearts pining for children to come back to God. I say no. No. 1,000 times no. What we're hoping for, what we're striving for, what we're praying for today is a happy home life where the guiding voices of mom and dad are not only trustable, but cherished. Where the parents have the wisdom to guide the will in early life and then back off at times and allow the child to learn by consequence, by practice, how to get it right most of the time. And so what we're asking God for today is divine help for these new parents, heavenly prompting and